Alrighty, I think we are live. Okay, I see you guys. Hi, welcome. Hello, hello, everybody. How we doing? Happy Thursday. What's going on? Why are my eyebrows always so crazy? I brush them and they just still don't do anything that I tell them to do. Hey, Tim, what's up? How you doing, guys? So nice to have you here. Welcome, welcome, everybody. I'm just gonna take this out because then they made it smart. That's good. Okay. Hi guys. Hello, hello. Happy Thursday, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys are having a good week thus far. I hope you guys can hear me. The connection's fine. Let me know if there's any issues. Hopefully not. Hopefully everything is going well. I think I see Loney. What's up, guys? It might take a second for everything to connect as well. Itchy nose. Yanessa! Hey, good to see you. Sounds good. Awesome. Okay. Well, welcome, guys. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are having a good week. I had such a beautiful morning this morning. I had there's this guy called, names. I gotta get good at this game. Anyway, he's a shaman. He married the princess of Norway, and he does TikTok live sessions. And man, every time I'm around this guy's energy, it's just such a power boost and such a beautiful healing process for me. So I had a really good morning. Oh, I'm sorry, Yanessa. I'm sorry you're not doing too good. So I'm going to turn on the AC, guys, because I have the AC in here, but it's so loud. So I have to turn on the one downstairs. I'm so sorry, man. Well, hopefully today we can turn it around, okay? Hopefully today we can give you guys a little bit of better day and feel a little bit more connected and a little bit more at peace. So I know there's a lot more people joining in. Hey, CG, good to see you again. But yeah, so sometimes, guys, just, lives like this can change your day around. Watching people that hopefully can make you feel a little bit better is very important, and I do it all the time for myself. Because even though I know how to shift my energy, there's sometimes it's just nice to have somebody else, help you out with that. Yes, good mornings are important. Speaking of which, by the way, guys, I do have a new course on Insight Timer that is about a 7-day morning ritual. So it's to help you reprogram your morning. And I also have a 7-day night ritual. So if you're interested, definitely go and check it out in my courses, because that's something that can help you to reset all of that. Thank you so much, CG, for the donation. I got it. Yay, Kelly, good to see you. All right. Well, I see that a few people have joined now. Welcome, guys. So nice to see you. Oh, you're doing my course right now. That's awesome, Brandy. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope it's helping. That's the point, right? We want it just to help and to, your mornings and your nights, by the way, are very important because they're like portals, right? So the morning sets for your day, and the nighttime, you get to release anything that you don't want to carry with you into the night and into the next day. So it's like a detox. At least that's how I use them. So, that's why at the end of the day, you kind of have to wind down, right? And a lot of us tend to have wine or whatever, but, it would be nice just to do it energetically and spiritually, so you can release anything that you don't want to carry with you and process whatever happens so that you can use it for your benefit. And the mornings for me are the most important, the most powerful, to set my intentions, to align my energy to what I want to create. And then obviously I feel more empowered. So I always I always have my routines, my rituals, which is why I created that 7-day course, because trust me, it changed my life. And I know if you stick to it, it's definitely going to help you out as well. All right, so I love it. I got 444. CG, great way to start today. It's my favorite number. So yeah, look for it in my courses, so you guys can definitely do it, because it's going to help you so much. Okay, so welcome everybody. For those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Jacqueline. I do these once a week, sometimes twice, depending on how I'm feeling. So I'm going to start off with the group reading. That's how we usually start. Now, CG has given a donation, so essentially she locked her position in for first place. And if you give a donation, you just get a bit of a longer reading, but of course it's not expected. I try to give everybody a reading even if you don't give a donation, but you'd have to wait until whoever's given donations basically after that. Obviously, it's just fair, you know? Okay, so I'm going to start off with the group reading, guys. So if you're ready, just send me your energy and allow me to channel it to me, through me, to me, through me. Does that make sense? I know in my mind it makes sense, but all right, just send me your energy and we'll see what's coming up for the week. Okay, and ooh, okay, that was strong. That was strong. And also, guys, we always have a lot of fun here. So there's always a bit of laughter. Sometimes there's a bit of crying. Hopefully more laughing than crying. But it's always nice to have the community and everybody showing up and connecting and you guys hanging out. It's just so cool. I love it. So let's see what's going to come up for the collective. This is just a message for the energy. Okay. And one more card. There it is. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so we got the first card is opportunity. The second card we got celebration and bounty. And then the next card, the last card, is the world. So this is really good energy and very interesting energy. What I'm hearing here essentially that this is energy is about turning things around for some of you. So some of you feel like you haven't had new opportunities or new energies coming in. And that essentially, the cards that are coming up today essentially are telling us that this is something that we can shift. And sometimes when we have these emotions where we feel like nothing's happening, or I'm doing the work, or nothing's shifting, or I really want to get here, but I don't know how. This card essentially is like telling you, you have the chance to do that. Let me get the downloads 1 second. So how do we change that? And sometimes as well, the other thing that I'm hearing is that a lot of us feel like just because nothing's happening physically or in the physical world, we feel like nothing's actually happening, even though you might be doing the work. And this is the tricky part. So for me personally, I've been working on something very specific at the moment where I've had this aha idea. Sorry, let me just, is my AC on? Where I'm starting to get signs, okay? So I am noticing synchronicities and little things happening where even though on the outside nothing's changed, I'm starting to see those synchronicities. Those synchronicities are messages to help you basically align your energy to what you want. So you could just sit there and just kind of brush them off and go, oh yeah, whatever, that's just a coincidence. Great, you can do that if that's what you want, but that's not helping you, okay? That's actually creating more of a block. Well, as when I see it, I just say, thank you so much, I receive, yes, more of this. And so what I'm creating is a momentum, an energetic momentum. You see how there's a wheel here, right? So you're going to build up that momentum until it starts physicalizing. So for a while, it's not going to be physical. And that's where you have to hold that hope and that strength and that continuation of that practice, of that belief, of that affirmation, of that energy, of that intention, whatever it is. And becoming also aware of those blocks. That's why these things are coming up. That's why those negative thinking or thoughts or whatever are coming up, because they're showing you where your blocks are, so when you maybe you brush it off kind of thing, that's showing you a block. That's showing you specifically a mindset or programming that you have that is actually preventing you from receiving this very thing. I created a meditation this morning where I was basically using the spiritual team to release some of these blocks, right? And it was very interesting, some of the things that came up, right? Because sometimes we think we know what they are, but if we really start listening to ourselves as well, we might find things that we're like, I never thought that this was a thing. Celebration and bounty. So I do see movement forward for a lot of you. I do see a lot of you actually starting to move forward. If some of you have been feeling stuck, that's about to shift. Things are moving forward. Doesn't mean it's still not difficult or emotional, but things are moving forward. And then the best card that we can possibly get is the world. So reminding us that we have the power to co-create anything that we want, but we've got to do the work, okay? So you got to make that opportunity. You got to create that opportunity as well. And how do you do it? Mindset, spiritual work, actual work, whatever it is for you. Everybody's going to have different practices and different things. But as long as you stick to the work, you're creating movement. But if you don't do the work, then you're like, the movement might happen, but it might be a lot slower, right? So it's that thing where you have to basically like really just say, dude, come on, let's do it. Like, I know you don't feel great today, but like, basically it's like showing up as your best friend or as your own healer or as your own coach. Sometimes, we don't have access to these things, but you have access to it for you within yourself. So it's about really taking that extra step to get what you want. Because the people who do the extra steps, also the people who really do believe that they can get it, the people who give up, it's really because deep down you didn't really believe. So to overcome that to get what you want, essentially, it's very important. So that's the message that we've gotten right now for the week. Hopefully that's making sense for some of you. But yes, so next up, CG, what's up? How you doing? What's going on? And I'm just going to tune into you. I need some guidance on a spiritual project and wondering if I need some external help or if I can handle all the steps needed alone, and if I will need to make a bigger money investment if I need external help, and if there is a good return on investment. I feel like the collective card might have answered some of this. There you go. I know, right? It's always funny how sometimes when I give you guys the group readings, it might just align. Yeah, so let's see. So you want to know essentially if you can do it on your own, if you need external help. Basically, let's just simplify it because that's going to make it easier for me to. Oh, there's energy here. Okay. Hello, everybody. I see some new faces. Welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for being here, guys. All right, so let's see. AJ, hey, how you doing, man? Ugh, I hate it when we fall down. Oh, a lot of water. Nice. Okay, you definitely got a lot of water energy, so this is very emotional for some reason. Oh, that one's hot. Okay. Woo! They're flying off the shelves. One more, please. Let me get one. Oh, no, they're flying out. Seriously. Okay. Hey, Silverback's in the house. Okay, a celebration, a wedding graduation, a birth announcement. I need to have more fun. CG, that's always your card. You always got to have more fun. Thank you, AJ. A contentment and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs are met. Trustworthy relationships. Your wishes come true. Concerns fade away. A love of life. Very cool. So, I feel like so the first thing is, this is like, for some reason there's a lot of water energy, CG. I don't know if this is just because it's emotional for you, or it revolves around releasing emotions, or something as well about the subconscious, but there's a lot of water energy in this one. These were like literally 3 water signs. I'll show you just quickly. See, they were all water, water, water. But I am seeing that it is not going to be a bad thing. Either decision that you make, I feel like this is going to work out really, really well for you. However, I do see that it's not going to be bad for you to ask for help, because you did get several cards here where it says family, and then you also got here, ask your angels for helpful people to lighten the load. Working too many hours, trying too hard to please others. So this is a big thing that you do because you're a very hard worker. And I think sometimes what happens is we're just so used to taking on the extra load and making it like, saying to ourselves, well, it's meant to be hard, right? But is it? Like, if we allow that help or that extra whatever it is, it can really make the process a lot easier for us. And easier lightens your energy. And if your energy is lighter, then there's more of a flow. So I feel like what they're saying here, hey Evie, not to be afraid, essentially, if you are leaning more towards asking for that extra help. I do think it's going to work out. and do what you love, a time of great personal growth, career or artistic endeavors, working with others in a cooperative manner. Again, the cards are mentioning, look, it's probably going to be, yeah, it's probably going to be good. And also for you, I think, CG, the other thing is learning to accept help and learning to allow that help and not seeing it as a weakness, seeing it actually as a strength and something that can really help you in many different levels. Sorry, my hamster is being absolutely adorable. He's like carrying little pieces of things to build a little hutch. Um, it's about for you restoring balance. Okay, yeah, yes, that's what I'm working on, accepting help. Well, that makes sense then. So if you want to, and I think this is also why the water stuff is coming up as well. I think it's also about you healing some of the subconscious programming, because water symbolizes memory. It symbolizes, the flow of energy, but it also, symbolizes the subconscious. So what I'm hearing here is that you allowing the help is you allowing the abundance to come to you as well. I recently, for instance, I wanted to unlock some abundant stuff. And I hired a coach for that because I understand that, listen, there's only so much that we can do on our own. At some point, everyone who's become somebody had a master, had a mentor, had somebody. And when you have that extra help, it's almost like they give you a key to unlock something. And, I don't want to brag or anything, but basically, after I did that course, I basically inherited a massive amount of money. So whether it's a coincidence that I was working on that and then the timing or whatever. The point is, it worked, right? But at the time, I didn't really have the cash to pay for this person. But intuitively, I was like, I got to do this. Something's telling me I got to do this. This is like the right timing. So I did it, and I'm glad I did it. So it worked out fine, right? So you got to really trust your intuition here a little bit more. But sometimes when you have these blocks that are very deep, um, it's harder to hear your intuition because the fear is much louder than your intuition, right? So with you right now, what we're working on and what I think you're working on, sorry, is that basically like you're trying to diminish that fear so that you can start increasing that intuition, and more abundance is going to start showing up. And everybody as well, like we have to understand that with everybody it goes at different pace. um the other thing that I'm really hearing here as well is, this is something that I've also had to download, is like, when it comes to success, when it comes to wealth, when it comes to this stuff, we have to remember that we often compare, and comparison isn't the best way to approach things. I think what I'm hearing here as well for you, yeah, worried of being taken advantage of. See, that's old stuff though. You see what I mean? Because you're so let me just finish the thought and I'll get to that. We want to do it based on our, what's the word, morals. So for instance, what is success to you, right? Like success to you could be um, uh, being financially free. Okay, now whether you're making millions of dollars or a few thousand, whatever, to me that is success. Now once I get there, which I kind of have gotten there, now I want to upgrade it to something else, but that to me is success. To somebody else that might not be. But what are my morals, what are my boundaries within that, and not trying to compare it to other people. Very big one, because comparison again is that fear, and then your boundaries, your values are really who you are. So it's stemming from a place of authenticity and not comparison to the world and others. So going back to what you're saying, taken advantage of, this is a fear, reaction, right? Because probably in the past that's happened before. Thank you, Kelly, I got you down. So naturally that fear is there for a reason, because something bad has happened, but you are slowly opening up again. And also trusting yourself that now you've done a lot of the work, so you're not going to be attracting the same stuff again. And trust your intuition. If you feel like you're going to be taken advantage of, if there's something off about the situation, number one, if it does happen again, it's a lesson. So what did I miss? What didn't I see? Why is this repeating? So always see it as a positive thing, never as a negative thing, but coming from a place of empowerment and not a victim place. People will take advantage. People will try and do stuff all the time. It's just how the world is, but when you learn, you start recognizing those signs, and people can't enter your sphere anymore. So, or just starting to understand you've done the work and you've done the healing, and you're not going to attract that ever again. Yeah, so it's a hard one because when something bad happens again, it's natural for us to go, "Oh, this sucks. You see, I knew it," and da 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 da. But again, when I talk about when I was healing my relationship stuff, when I kept attracting the same person in a different body, I didn't go into victim mode every time. I was like, "Oh, I can't ever find anybody." I went into, okay, so I did see the signs, I ignored them, I chose to blah blah blah. Next time, I ain't doing that again. And now I can recognize this stuff a mile away. In fact, I had to break off a friendship because I could see the signs. And of course, I want to be friends with this person. I thought I was hoping, but I could see the signs, and I was like, absolutely not. I see where this is going. We're not doing this again. Boom, shut down. You go your way, I go my way. Everybody's happy. But this can happen with business. This can happen with everything. So again, the being very clear here. You need to start allowing people to help you, CG, because this is coming from some kind of a wound, obviously. But again, there's balance, right? Yin and yang. So just saying to yourself, if I have any inkling that there's something off about this person or this help, if I feel like anything is off, I'm going to trust my intuition. But you do it based on evidence. So again, when I was in an abusive relationship, there were very specific things and signs and behaviors and things that people would do that were very easy for me to recognize. But every time I would be like, no, they're different. This time they're going to treat me different. No, they're not. If they're swearing at you, if they push you, if they do any physical, if they're being manipulative, all these things are signs. And they're very obvious once you step from this place, but at the time you're fogged up because your desire, or my desire, to have a relationship would overlook that. So does that make sense, CG? So in this situation, what I would say is just trust yourself. If something feels off, walk away. You have the option to say no and walk away. But also, don't be afraid to try and open up and just allow that help, because you do deserve that help. And no one can do anything alone. We do need help. I still need help. I ask for help all the time. It used to be very difficult for me. And trust me, the minute I started asking for help, my life did get a lot easier. It's when I did everything by myself that everything was so freaking difficult. I did feel into two places too, and they seemed off. So yes, okay, and that's okay. Just keep searching. Even like the other day when I had my husband and I asked for like an electrician, and I said I wanted two quotes. The first guy that came in, the first thing that he said when he saw my rats was, "Oh yeah, they snake food," and I was like, "All right, you're an idiot. Like, no, I don't like you." And then the other guy saw my rats and he was like, "Oh my God, they're so cute." Da 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 da. Like his energy was so different to the other guy. And I'm like, "You're hired." And again, not because of his attitude, just like that tells me a lot about a person and their energy and who they are. And I don't want that in my house. I don't want you to be putting that energy in my house, right? Could ask me that I'm judgmental. I don't care. It's like it's my house, it's my energy. I decide who comes in here and co-creates this space with me. You have the power to do that too, CG. So take your power back and understand that you do have power in this situation. If you're mean, cold, whatever people want to judge you, however you judge yourself, who fucking cares? You know what I mean? Stand in your power, stand in your truth, and do not compromise in that. And you will see that you will start attracting the right people, places, and things because you have self-respect. Okay? So trust yourself, girl. And it doesn't mean just the first one that comes up is the one. Just keep seeking and keep searching and keep asking, and they will come to you. All right, you're so welcome. Best of luck, my friend, and you deserve the help. Please trust me. It's important that we start attracting the right people and places and things that align with who we are. But we teach people how to treat us, and it's a hard one. It's a really difficult one because it gets uncomfortable, So, but that's okay. It's just emotions. All right, AJ, you're next. Yeah, the boundaries is a big one for most people, guys. Yes, especially in your house. It's your space. This man walked in, didn't take off his shoes, didn't even ask. And then the first thing he says, he makes a joke about my animals being eaten. I'm like, how did you think that was gonna land, bro? Like, I was nice to him. I wasn't rude or anything. I mean, at the end of the day, here to install lights, but I'm just like, that's not respectful. You're not being respectful of my babies first and foremost. And like, you know, because he was a dude, you know, it was like, oh yeah, you know, like vegans and all that kind of thing. I'm like, all right, you're not funny, dude. Like, I'm gonna make you feel uncomfortable if you keep going. Luckily, he didn't keep going, but you know, I'm just like, this guy's off. You know, like you lost a job because of that. So it's silly. Okay, so AJ, I've been dealing with issues with my personal life and my career. I on the right path of my journey? Okay, so let's find out. Plugging out of CG and tuning into AJ. Give me a second. Okay. My cards want to come out. And then these ones. Okay. Yeah. I know they don't ask at least. I mean, listen, you know, that's fine, but like the other guy, he was like straight away, he was like, "Oh, do you want me to remove my shoes?" And it's mindful, right? It shows a lot about a person being a little bit more sensitive. Like you see we're not wearing the shoes, you see the shoes are out there. It's just common courtesy and it's a respectful thing. So it's already says a lot about a person. Like I do it now because I don't want shoes in my house because you have to clean the house. And we have carpets upstairs, which I hate, which we're gonna rip up because I don't want no carpet. I hate carpets. So we're renovating. But yeah, you know, and people are people. People have upbringings. You know, we always can give people a bit of grace. But you came into my rescue and you made a joke about my babies being eaten as snake food. I was like, that's not. It's not funny. You know, I mean, it's funny now when I think about it. But yeah, you're not shining the best light. It's because he probably was uncomfortable or he just was socially awkward, which I get, but at the same time, dude, like, do you want the job or do you want to be a smartass? Like, which one? Oh, nice. Okay. And you know, again, I don't have to make. I mean, if you keep pushing and you keep being weird, I'm gonna make you feel uncomfortable. But um, yeah, some people can't. Well, I mean, I have about 20 rats in here, you know. So like, read the room, dude. Yeah. Well, not 20 rats. I have about 5 rats and how many hamsters? I mean, we've downgraded a ton. Um, you know, the guinea pigs, and then we still got the hamsters. Unfortunately, my mouse passed. I think we were here last time when I was looking out for her. Yeah, she passed. But I was able to make her relieve some pain, you know. I gave her some painkillers, so she transitioned a little bit nicer and peacefully. But yeah, it's tough. Okay. So AJ, I'm with you. Sorry, I have to shuffle the cards and get all the energies together. So the first card that you got is Lemurians. The second card that you got is the Wizards, and the third card you got is the Galactic Knights. This is very interesting. So I hope you understood it. Thank you so much for being here. No, I'm joking. It's like people are like, what does this mean? Lemurians, Wizards. What's she talking about? Okay. So I'm going to read this card because it's going to make a lot of sense as to what's going on with you right now. The Lemurians live in perfect harmony with all beings and understood the importance of balance. They are here to remind you to restore balance in your life, heal, and take time to prioritize yourself. This situation is calling for a powerful transformation. Embrace it with an open heart and begin the healing journey. So did you hear the word? Hey, Alicia. Um, Prioritize yourself. So you said, I think there's a link between the job and your personal life. I don't think it's a coincidence that both are happening at the same time. It's because there is one point of interest here that is the issue, or that is the thing that needs to be healed, and that is you. So we co-create with the universe. Our energy reveals to us. I love the law of mirroring, right? The law of mirroring essentially says everything that's on the outside is a mirror of what is happening on the inside. The problem is a lot of the times what's happening on the inside is subconscious, meaning we don't have like an inner voice going, hey, you're messed up because when you were 5, your dad told you that you were stupid, right? It doesn't quite work like that. So what ends up happening is that situations outside of us start manifesting, such as a career problem or relationship problems. Now, these are mirrors to the relationship, the healing, and stuff that we need to heal within ourselves. So there's an imbalance within you. This is coming out very, very strongly. There's something that's very unbalanced, and it's manifesting through your relationships, through your job, through all this sort of stuff. Now, that sucks, okay? I'm not taking away the sucky part. It sucks. The good news is you can change that. So the first thing that these cards are saying is that essentially you got to step back and have a bird's eye view of the situation. The Wizard card is all about really not, because when we're in it, we're emotional, we're attached. Our ego wants certain things. And like I said before, when I was telling the story in relationships, I was getting all of these red flags, but we ignore them. Why? Because something is more important than our well being, something that we really, really want, where we will essentially abuse ourselves to try and get it. So I will put up with somebody treating me like crap because really what I want is not to be alone and to be in a relationship. And so this will make me overlook so many things just to try and get what I want. So the bird's eye view essentially is trying not to be attached to anything and looking at the situation for what it is. So what it is in the situation, in the relationship, what is going on here, what are the problems in the job, what are the issues. So when we can look at it not from that emotional attachment place, we can start seeing things for what they really are. So it could be in the relationship is that I have relationships with people that, you know, don't value me, okay, or that people that treat me like crap, like I used to have, right? And so what is that telling me about myself? I treat myself like shit. And I put up with people doing that because I don't know how to be alone. I don't know how to have a relationship with myself, right? Or if it's the career, like you can't advance or you can't get a freaking job, right? There's a value issue here. And there's also a stability issue there. Like I can't create stability in my life. So all these things, AJ, are basically things that are showing you where the problems are. I know it can feel overwhelming because you're like, man, I got so many problems. Everybody does. Okay, so I was going to go back to the triangle priority, okay? So join the Illuminati. No, I'm joking. Sorry, I can't help myself. My mind goes to weird places, and then I have to say weird things, and hopefully people get the jokes because I'm doing this. No, so the triangle essentially, it's all about learning what the most important thing is every single day. Okay, so if everything's important, you get crushed because then nothing's important. So let's just say, for instance, if somebody is a severe addict, because I used to work in rehabs, it was very clear to me your most priority is sobriety. Because if you can't get your sobriety together, you can't get a job, you can't hold a relationship, you can't be alive. So it just makes sense, right? So with you, AJ, what I'm asking here is like you've got to start understanding the priorities that you have to work on every single day and just simplify it. Because once you find the number one issue, then everything else will sort itself out. It will just be an automatic next thing and next thing. And the priority can change every day. Okay, so that's the other thing. Is like just because today this is the priority doesn't mean tomorrow it's going to be the priority. But learning to recognize what that priority is, and that priority will create balance in your life because that's what you need. You're so overwhelmed and so over taken by so much happening, your career, your this and this and this and this. It's just chaos. Okay, so this is again the bird's eye view. Is like every day just taking that step, checking in with yourself, looking at your life and going, okay, what's the problem and what is the priority today to work through so that I can resolve this issue. It's also like the relationship stuff that you have is the Galactic Knights is all about karmatic relationships, karmatic patterns. So you have a lot of karmatic relationships because they're really here to help you. I know it doesn't feel that way. My ex who used to beat me up, okay, it was a karmatic relationship. He taught me so much about myself and what love is and boundaries and strength, you know. So I had to learn it the hard way, you know, but that's what it was. So these relationships that you have, when it's a karmatic relationship, it's essentially something you either have to heal or walk away from usually. So heal means you guys can work together and continue the relationship, or it's the type of relationship like with my ex where I was so codependent that I had to go, this is bad. I have to put me first, my health, my mental health, my well-being. And also and acknowledging the fact that the way he was treating me, I was treating myself. I was a very nice person, But I had that violence in me towards other things. I had that violence towards myself. And it was manifesting through this person, and I couldn't see it at the time. Now I can see it clearly. But at the time, I would have said, no, there's no way I'm anything like him. I'm not abusive. Yeah, I was to myself. And also allowing somebody to do that to me. That's self abuse the same way. So when we create those boundaries, I never attracted ever again. Well, I mean, I did for many years until I learned the lesson. And now, of course, I would never. In fact, I have the most beautiful, gentle husband on the planet who would never raise a hair to, But it took a lot of healing to get to that. So these relationships are showing you essentially how to restore balance in your life. So I know it's hard, but instead of taking it from the place of this is happening to me, how is this happening for me? Very difficult. Very, very difficult place. But I'm telling you, if you can start shifting that mindset, you're going to start taking action from a different place, and you're going to start learning that priority, and then things are going to unfold for you. So one thing that I will say, AJ, is that your spiritual team are happy with you. I know it doesn't feel like it because you don't feel like you're being rewarded, but you did get a card that it said, congratulations, you are moving forward, you're trying, you're doing the work. But the other thing that happens is that when we do the work, we expect everything to be resolved in like 2 years, in 2 seconds. Sometimes it takes 2 years. Sometimes it takes 5 years. Sometimes it takes a week. But you have to also give yourself that grace when things do start working out for you and they are good, instead of just going, okay, thank you. Well, look at all this mess over here, right? We all do that. It's normal. That's the reptilian brain. But we have to take those moments and say, you know what, dude, right now it's tough, but man, I have come a far way. And I'm so proud of myself for having come this far. And I know I've healed this and this and this. So that's proof that I can heal this and this and this. That gives you motivation. Again, a challenge you can resolve. Withdraw from the drama of others. Stop trying to rescue other people, AJ. Okay? Have patience with yourself and those around you. So I feel like you're trying to fix everybody else's problems but your own, right? And that's one of the issues, that this is not good, because you can't give what you don't have. Yes. You are just as important as everybody else. I'm not saying don't help other people. Please do. But don't do it when you're tired, when you're drained, when you have nothing to give. You have to learn to prioritize yourself as well. Because if you don't see yourself at least as equal to everybody else, then that's where it's showing you a lot of the issues. But the good news is I do see some positive things coming through. Love and blessings fill your life. Harmonious relationship with family members, happily ever after. So I do see some of these problems being resolved, but you got to stop playing the hero and start prioritizing yourself. So I will give you a little tip. I'm going to repeat this until I'm a broken record. When we don't have self-love, guys, we're not going to stand up for ourselves. We're not going to protect ourselves. We're not going to put ourselves first. However, little trick here. Little AJ, who's 5 years old, I want you to take a time in your life, AJ, I want you to think of it right now, a time in your life where you felt as a child something similar that was happening to you right now happened to you back then. And I want you to remember how heartbroken that little child was. Now, today, right here, right now, you have the opportunity to heal that, to save him. So every time you allow somebody to treat you like shit, you got to remember that that little boy is still in you. And that little boy should give you the power now to fight for yourself, to stand up for yourself, and to protect yourself. So when you're protecting or prioritizing yourself, who you're prioritizing is him. And it should make it easier for you to suddenly shift your perspective and understand the value of yourself, because your younger self and your older self, like you got to remember, time doesn't really exist, guys. All those parts of you are still with you right now. The past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. It took me a long time to get my head around this one, by the way, but now I get it. They're here now. So when you let somebody treat you like shit, they're treating him like shit. And so fight for him. Do it for him. What did he need that he never got? Give it to yourself now. Is that making sense, AJ? Hopefully that's coming across. It's a hard one to wrap your head around, but when you get it, if you get it, I'm telling you, that can change your life. You know, I will sometimes like For me, whenever I have to like travel or anything, my inner child is like freaking out because when I was little, I never felt protected and safe. So I spend time talking to myself and saying, hey, like, I love you, I got you. My husband, I explained to him what I need from him to make me feel safe and why this is a problem. Okay. So I create an environment where I do everything I can to make myself safe and communicate that with people clearly so they can support that. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah, AJ, it's important, and we forget that little us are still there and those damaged aspects of us that we can still rescue today. That's what healing is. So I'm repairing those things that little me never got. All right. Well, best of luck, AJ. I know it was a lot of information, but take what you can from it and just remember, just start with little you and the priority. Okay. Think of the triangle. What's the most important thing today and just work on that. Don't overwhelm yourself. Okay. All right. Kelly, what's up? How you doing? Oh, you're so welcome, AJ. Okay. So let me just tune out. I'm needing some help around my healing on grief. I am doing talk therapy. I feel like I need more different help. Can I get a guidance on what other types would help? I need to get more closure on this divorce. Oh, I got it for you. The abandonment words is coming up again in another situation that happened with someone that was supposed to be my best friend. Okay. I got something that I have learned recently. It's a tough one to wrap your head around it, but if you can. This one's hot and that one's hot. Okay. Okay. So we'll see also what the cards have to say. But essentially, this is something that I'm practicing myself. It's a very difficult one, guys, but if you can do this, I'm telling you, it can change your life. So anything that happens to us, even on the outside, even if it appears negative, it has a positive. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you an example here. For instance, you are saying something like a divorce, right? But I'm actually going to give you guys an example of the girl first because this is going to make more sense. So essentially, the way that it happened, this woman went up to this guy and said, my friend, who I thought was my friend at the time, told my husband because she was jealous of everything that I had been having an affair. And he was like, okay, so what are the positives in this? And she was like, there is no positive. She betrayed me. She was supposed to have my back. And then the repercussions was I ended up having my husband left me. So the positives, I'm just going to cut it short. But once she started sitting down and really looking at the positives, and not only that, but looking at how she has done the same to others. Long story short, she realized that there was a ton of positives. So essentially, she obviously didn't want to be with her husband anymore. So in the long run, it actually ended up being the best. She ended up getting the house. She ended up something happened with work over time because of the situation where she ended up making more money. Her relationship with her kids became better. Now, obviously, at the time, she couldn't see all of this, right? But sometimes these things happen because they're actually guiding us towards something better. So what I do now, whenever something bad happens, essentially what I do is I ask myself, it's okay, there's the negatives. I get the negatives, but what are the positives in this? And it's a really hard one, but if you really sit down with yourself and keep processing and keep thinking about it, suddenly you begin to find little things and also things that you might not just see yet. So for instance, that is what I'm looking at now. Yeah. So with the divorce, Kelly, I know it's like a tough one, right? Because I don't know if you're still in love or if it was a mutual thing. So you need more closure on the divorce. So I'm going to see also what the cards are going to tell you. But the divorce could have led you to. I'll give you an example with my mom. My father was everything to her. Okay, she was super in love with my dad. She tried to kill herself after they separated, and she, super codependent. I look at my mom now, and because of that divorce, she has actually become a lot stronger, a lot more dependent. She can take care of herself now. She doesn't need somebody to take care of her. She found actually parts of herself that she needed to discover. And if she would have stayed with my dad, she would have ended up probably getting sick and probably would have been a total doormat. Okay. So at the time, she literally tried to end her life because my father left her. Now, again, one of those things that at the time, if you told her, hey, what are the positive in this? She would have just been like, nothing, you know? But 10, 15 years later, she got a lot out of it. And she would not have been happy in that marriage if she really thinks about it, because she was just, had no power. She had no say. She had no voice. My dad is a super alpha male, and he total control. It's all about him. He's also quite narcissistic. Bless him. He's a charming narcissist. He's not a bad narcissist. You know what I mean? Like, some narcissists are not bad people, you know? But he would, you know, and the wife that my dad has now, she's not a doormat. She turns around, she goes, you go freaking get it yourself, mate. Like, you know, she's the type of person that stands up to him. So it was a win-win for everybody. But at the time, again, guys, that's what I was talking about even with AJ before. That thing that we want, we make it more important than other things that actually are more important. Anyway, let me look at here. Okay. Wow. Okay. So, Kelly, this is really happening. Sorry, let me just see. That's what I'm looking at now. Not mutually. He was cheating. He told me he was unhappy for 5 years before. Okay. So, here's an example, right? Oh, sorry. That is what is happening to me. I got sick in the marriage. I see it now as I should have left. He was very narcissistic and controlling in so many ways, especially with money. Okay. So, an example here, Kelly, is just this. If you can start focusing towards the benefits of this divorce, I know there's still the pain and the resentment. I'm not trying to take that away from you. But just as there's the pain and the resentment, there's also celebration and good things in here. So, somebody who's cheating on you is deceptive, is not respecting you. So, you dodged a bullet there. Your health, you probably would have gotten even more sick because you're going against your authentic self. You knew something probably was off, didn't know how to handle it. It takes two to tango, by the way, in a marriage. So let's remember that. There's only so much you can do on your end. So I want you really to do your best to begin to shift that perspective, because our reptilian brain will always look at all the negatives. Okay, it's just how it does to survive. It doesn't want to repeat that. But your higher self, your higher mind, knows that this was meant to happen, that this was for your benefit, and that in the end, and this is looking really good, by the way, I'm going to tell you in a second what's coming up. But in the end, this is actually something that really did serve you. Yes, it came in the form of deception, of betrayal, of all sorts of things. But this world is not fair. Okay. It is, and unfortunately, sometimes the good things don't show up always in a beautiful package. But I promise you, this is really something that is going to lead you to a much better life. So the first thing that came up is awakening your true self. This is making a lot of sense right now, okay? This is happening because you weren't being authentic to yourself. You were putting up with a lot of crap to have that relationship, that marriage, the idea of something as opposed to the truth of that, okay? We all do this. Now that this happened, it taught you a lot about how much you put up with, that sometimes you were going against your nature and your true self in order to keep the marriage, in order to keep things. This is actually leading you more and more to who you really are, really starting to discover who you are and what you really want. So, see, that makes sense right now. So it's like you don't want somebody who's ever going to do that to you ever again. Okay, first and foremost. It maybe taught you that maybe you did need to speak up a little bit sooner and not just brush things off or just let them get away, you know, or just pretend like nothing's wrong, right? We do that a lot as people. We just don't want to rock the boat. Fuck that. I'm going to rock it and shake it and put it upside down if I have to, as long as I get to what the problem is, you know. And we're taught to do this, by the way, because it's not proper. Again, you don't have to rock the boat by being loud and crazy and yelling and shouting. It's about sitting down with somebody and said, what's wrong? Is there something wrong here? I'm here, I'm listening. There's so many ways to have that communication, but we're so afraid of it for some reason. And if you're wrong, oh no, so what? You're wrong. Big deal, you know? But again, all these fears and things that we've been taught. And so we go against our nature, we put up with things, we do things for people. And then guess what happens? You're the one who gets trampled over. Same thing happened to my mom. She did everything for my dad. She tried to be the perfect wife. He ends up cheating on her, you know, for another woman. And then guess who ended up paying for it? She did, and we did, and he did. Everybody paid for it. Okay, so Kelly, really what's happening here is that you got to start feeling safe within yourself. Okay, I think there is a little bit here of unsafety, ungroundedness. There's a lot of fear of not feeling safe. I'm getting like a lot of I'm not safe, I'm not safe, I'm not safe. Um, Oftentimes, for instance, in my situation, what I realize is that some of the lessons that we learn is going to teach us something that we have to heal, which leads us to something. So I didn't have a very safe childhood. I was abused as a child. I was molested for many, many years. That is a lesson of self-empowerment. And when you heal that, that's what I've learned. So healing is the opposite of where you were. So if for me, when somebody's being abused the way I was physically and sexually, it's a power thing. It's a power issue. So for many years, if I didn't heal this to this day, I would still be struggling with that issue and I would still be recreating that problem. So the opposite of that is self-empowerment, which is what I've built up. Yes, I went through a lot of trauma in my life. Yes. So the safety stuff, okay? This one is what is the opposite of safety? Sorry, what is the opposite of not feeling safe? Okay, is again there's some power in there. There's security. That's creating the safety for yourself. It's boundaries. It's strength. So for you, the lesson that you're learning here is to create that for yourself within yourself, which is probably why you're seeking a lot of the spiritual stuff. Um, so how can I make myself feel safe? How can I begin to bring that security within myself and trusting myself more? And that means speaking up for yourself. It means doing the uncomfortable thing sometimes. So it's hey Pixie. So what I'm hearing here is that all of these things that are happening are teaching you these steps to get to that safety. And when you find that safety, Kelly, the more you focus on this, the more you give yourself these things, the less you're going to be creating or manifesting or attracting that BS. Okay. And again, also safety in like, yes, I'm good, Pixie. How are you? Yes, I have started using my voice and I am, yeah, losing a lot of friends because they cannot handle it. That's fine. And that's perfectly fine. But you know what? That's a good thing, Kelly, because when you change, sometimes people don't. And you grow apart. And that's awesome because that means that you've outgrown. And I don't like to put other people down in the sense of they're down here and you're up here. It's just you're going in different directions. They want to go left and you want to go right. Okay. And as you go right, you're going to meet more people who are going to love that about you, who are going to be respecting that. I don't do well with passive aggressive people. I hate it. I don't handle it very well. I like people who are very direct and honest and blunt, And for me, I mean, there's place and time for it, of course, and not too blunt, but I enjoy that in a person because I'm like, great, I know where I stand, I know where you are, perfect, I know what to do with that. But if I'm guessing and I'm trying to figure out how you're feeling and I'm like, oh God, this is just like mental gymnastics, it's exhausting for me. So, I just really enjoy people who are expressive, who know how to ask for what they want. They're not afraid to say what I am and how I feel. And I'm like, I love it. I like, cool. I'll sit there and listen because I'm like, I get it. So the other thing that you're learning here as well is to let go. Okay. You're holding on to a lot of this stuff from the past, which is normal. But the problem is, think of it kind of like you're moving into your future with a backpack with like 20,000 rocks. And that weight, that heaviness, that anytime you have to go over another hurdle, you're not going over the hurdle by yourself, you're carrying that past with you. So again, this is all teaching you a lot to let go. And I hate it when people go, just let go, just fucking let go. I'm like, yeah, thank you, man. It's like, tell somebody who's experienced like severe abuse to just let it go. It's like, no shit, Sherlock, I would like to. How do I do that, right? You're like, yeah, thanks. When somebody told me, it's like, if you're just unhappy, just be happy, So that's the hard part, right? Is just figure out how to let go. And again, I think it comes down to seeing the benefit of it, right? Oh, thank you. I love my outfit too today. I thought I was feeling very flowy and girly. So for me, for instance, one of the biggest things that's been uh the my family, it's been a hard one for me to forgive my family, to let go of a lot of the traumas that I experienced as a child, and my parents not protecting me the way I would have needed, because if they would have protected me, a lot of the abuse wouldn't have happened. It's just freaking science and steps by steps. So I really took the time to see the benefit for me now in the healing. Again, it's looking at that positive, which is very hard to do. So I can't go back in time and change what happened to me. And you can't go back in time and change what happened. It happened. Okay. But I am not going to allow my past to torture my future and my present. And that's what happens when you carry that backpack. It's torturing you. And it sucks. And I'm like, I've put up with so much crap and I have suffered so much. I am not going in my future in pain. So I realized there were certain things that I had to let go. And let go doesn't mean I forget. Let go doesn't mean I accept. Let go doesn't mean, and I accept certain things, yes, but let go doesn't mean I'm like, okay, you get away with it. Absolutely not. It just simply means that I'm not taking this crap with me, okay? Because I've suffered enough, and I deserve that joy, that lightness, that freedom. And so I just worked step by step every single day on healing it, on accepting it, on seeing the benefit of it. I mean, what is the benefit of what I went through when I was a kid? Today I'm helping other people, right? So I become a very powerful, self-empowered woman. I'm very physically fit and strong because of that pain. It allows me to go to the gym and be in beast mode. Actually, we call it David Goggins mode. I don't know if anybody knows who David Goggins is. He's like a Navy SEAL. So my husband always calls me Jacqueline Goggins. When I go to the gym, I'm trying not to do too much. I'm actually trying to like slow down a little bit with the weights, but like things like that. It's just like it makes me strong. It makes me stand up. So again, I try to look at the benefits of these things. As far as my parents, the forgiveness is still a process, but I really approach this from the higher perspective. It's like when I look at this situation from myself who's died 10 years from now, and I look back, that resentment, that anger, is that really gonna matter? No. So I have to trust that the people who have done me wrong, they're gonna have to deal with it on their own. That's their thing. It's not my job to punish them. And by holding on to this anger and resentment, is like, am I gonna punish them? Are they gonna finally like have that awakening? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. But I have to trust that how I am gonna win is to give myself that peace, and to walk into that room. When you see your ex, or when I see my family, I'm not bringing that backpack with me, because when I bring that backpack with me, I act as a wounded animal. I act out of pain, I react out of suffering, I react out of resentment. But when I walk in as my healed self, I heal them as well. And that's the most important thing, because I'm light, I'm open, I see things for what they are. And when they say something negative, I don't react in that wounded, oh, fuck you, and this and that, and it's your fault, and which, by the way, feels good, but that's not going to solve and move me forward. Does that make sense? That's it. What's something really good to happen, and it just seems like crap keeps coming up, but it keeps coming up because you're still carrying it. But I will continue to stay on course. I know there's a change, and it's going to be coming. I'm just trying to hang on. And again, can I just say, Kelly, it takes time. Okay? You've suffered for years and years, and that backpack is full. So it takes one little rock at the time, one bit by bit. It takes a process. It took me like, when I decided to heal with my stuff with my parents, it took me like 2 years, really, of every day I made the decision, I'm going to get to a point where I don't hold this resentment anymore, because I know also it can make me sick. Resentment's not a good energy to hold on to. So I'm really coming also from a very selfish place, which is fine. It's okay to be selfish. And selfish, really not really, because if I'm good and I'm healthy and I'm happy, guess what? They benefit as well, because I'm open and I'm more loving and I'm more kinder. So it's a win-win for everybody. Kelly, as someone who is 1 year on the other side of divorce, I can say it will get better, and the life you've built from here on can be a beautiful thing. More on the loss field, field of feels. Oh, I love that. Is there some other work I need to do? I feel like, honestly, this is really the most important thing, but here's the thing. So I do see a possible relationship coming in for you, Kelly. A relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, the positive resolution of conflict, falling in love, awaiting a proposal, the need of balance in emotion, an invitation to social event, great sadness, take time to heal, the need to forgive yourself and others. So again, really the point here, I've given you some big nuggets here today, so I really want you to reflect on what we just talked about. But I do also see that you want to have a new relationship. However, we cannot manifest a healthy relationship if we're wounded. So that resentment, that anger, that frustration is blocking your heart because you're so afraid of being hurt again. So the healing is going to open up the energies, and you're going to slowly, because there is somebody there for you. It's very clear, but you have to let go of that pain. You have to start healing it bit by bit, because then that person can come in. You know, if even when I first met my husband, I still was very wounded, and I would react still from that wounded place. Thank God he was such a beautiful soul that he saw it. And then I started realizing, I was like, I'm not fighting with anybody, I'm fighting with myself. He wouldn't react, you know. I was like, I don't need to react like this. I don't need to be so dramatic and over the top. Sometimes I do, but not the way I used to, right? So I think I attracted him because I did the work, and I opened up my heart, and I felt safe. Safety is a big one for you in being in love. Why? Because I had created the boundaries. I knew myself. I was empowered. And so I was like, if this person is not right, I'm going to pack up and go. No problems. No matter how much I love them, no matter how deeply and obsessed I am, which I get obsessive, I had gotten to a place with myself that the minute I saw a red flag or anything abusive or wrong, pack up my bags and leave. So that attracted somebody who, because I felt safe with myself, and therefore I could attract somebody who I was safe with. So remember, absolutely, Kelly, but also, like, I wasn't fully 110% healed when I met my husband. Healing never ends. The healing is an ongoing, forever process. As long as we're in a human body, living in this wonderful, whatever planet, healing is an ongoing thing. It's just the onions, right? But as now that I'm with him, I kept healing more and more and more and more, and more love came in, and then there was more things to heal, but I did it with him, and I was more safe, and like, it's just adding on, okay? But yeah, big one for you. So again, trying to see the positives, okay, and the negatives, really sitting there with yourself, maybe do some writing, okay? Like, what is the positive in this situation? Because the more you focus towards the positive, the more you start pulling down these rocks, okay? It's not so heavy anymore. It's not so bad. It's suddenly, it's like, actually, this is a good thing. It's working out for me. The next thing is working on safety for you. And then finally, just bit by bit, trying to let go. Try to let go. Try to understand that the more you let go, the more you, and you got to figure it out. It's everybody's different. The less you're going to carry with you, and the more you're going to be able to enjoy your present and your future, which is what you deserve. You cannot let, that was my mantra for a long time. I'm not letting my past dictate my present or my future. I'm not letting my past torture me now, because this is all I have right now. I want to have fun. I want to be in the light. I want to enjoy myself now, not because of something that happened in the future that I can't go back and change. I'm going to use that as an empowerment tool. How? By seeing the positives, okay? But you got this, Kelly. You know what I mean? It's just you're doing the work. Gotta remember, you are doing the work. It's just, again, when we do the work, we think, oh, tomorrow, like I said, it took me 2 or 3 years, but I was consistently working on my parents' stuff every single day. And I knew it was going to unlock certain things for me the minute I healed it, because I'm very good at seeing these things. And it did. It opened up even more doors, even more things that are going to come into my future now, because I've healed a lot of it. It's not 100%, but I'd say it's 70% more. And I feel so much lighter. I don't sit here all day, every day like I used to. And I would, like, again, I would see these, like, something from the past would come up, and I would go down that story, right? It's like, oh, when he said this, and then I start having arguments in my head with my mom or my dad, that things that never happened. I'm sure we've all done that, right? Or your ex is like, you did that to me, and then I create it as if I'm experiencing it, but nothing's happening. And so I would catch myself when I started going down that rabbit hole, and I would be like, stop. Is this serving me? No. Has it happened? No. Is it likely to happen? Maybe, but right now it's not happening. Where do I want this to go? How do I want to feel right now? And so it's also catching yourself when you're going down those spirals, and then shifting the energy. How do I want to feel right now? I would literally think about cute puppies if I had to, just to shift my frequency. Okay? Sometimes little things like that are just more than enough. You got this, Kelly. Aw, thank you, Evie. Do I feel lighter? She's more alive and light. Okay, so I think I had everybody who's given a donation. So if anybody, feel free to ask a question if you'd like me to pull a card. Jamie's in the house. Yeah, Brandy, that's a big one, right? Is this serving me? So sometimes we just go down these negative loopholes and we think it's serving us because it feels good because we're getting that revenge or we're having that like, I'm getting like that, but is it serving me right now? No, because I'm going to feel like pissed off and angry now for the rest of the day, as opposed to I could be feeling good. Oh, thank you, Allison. Yes, had a haircut. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate you so much. I trust you and your information. Oh, that's so sweet, Kelly. I appreciate that. Thank you for the trust. That means a lot. You got your glow. You got your glow on you now. Yes, I always have a little bit of a see. Even this, I feel like it's like a light coming through. I like to think it's it's more spiritual than actual lamp, but we'll go with it. Yeah, so guys, if you want a card, let me know. Feel free to ask. If not, if you have a question as well, even just about a topic or something, I'm happy to pull a card about it or just discuss it. So feel free. If not, then we can also close up with a meditation. That's not a problem. I just want to check and make sure that everybody, and don't be shy to ask. Claire, yes, a card. Okay, so let's see a card for you. Love! Hey! Struggling to sleep with the heat. Oh, I know. It's starting to get hot. No, my dog, Keats, my dog yesterday was being a pain in the butt. I don't have kids, but I have dogs, and they both have to sleep on me for some reason. Not my husband. No, on me. But my dog Keats, what he does is that he like psychically wakes me up because he'll sit there. He literally sits on his bum and in his legs because that's when he wants something. So he will not make a sound. He will not do anything. He'll just stand there and stare at me for hours until I wake up. And then what he wants is for me to lift the blanket so he can do this. So he'll just sit there and I wake up and my dog's just standing there looking at me like, wake up, bitch. And then I'm like, oh God. So, yeah. Ooh, okay. Yeah. I feel like that's kind of like having kids, except mine are cuter. They're not as loud. Okay, Claire. All right, so let's see what's coming up. Interesting. Okay, so you got money and passion come up. So I don't know if you're looking to maybe you have an inspiration or an idea, and then love and blessings, uh, fill your life, harmonious relationships with family members, happily ever after. So I think so money, I feel like money is coming up, and also possibly like I don't know if you're interested in like starting a project, or there's some an idea that you have, or you want to pursue something more like a I don't know, like maybe like a hobby, or even like just genuinely a new career or something. So let me know if that's on if I'm on track here. But there's something about basically more money, and there's also a fear of not making that money if you do follow that passion or if you do follow that thing. It's 35 degrees. Oh wow, that's hot. Hey, it could be cold though. Do you prefer the cold or the hot? Oh, that's a good one, Brandy. I'll get there. Yes, I have money worries with recent relationship and separation. Okay, that's making more sense now because the family thing came up. Okay, so again, this is coming up because I think that like it's a safety thing. It's normal. Money comes up, obviously, but I don't see it as a bad thing. What I'm hearing here is that you got to remember just to continue to bring that passion in when it comes to money. So as long as you follow your passion, as long as you follow that trajectory where it's not coming from a place of sacrifice, of pain, and of suffering, then money will continue to flow through you, because money is energy, right? So when we keep it at a high frequency, then it will continue to come through. Somehow, in the last 2 years, I quit all of my shitty jobs to pay my bills, and I just followed my passion, and I've been more than doing great. Okay. Again, I've done a lot of healing and I've done a lot of work, and things obviously just, people might look at it and it's like, well, because you have your husband or this and that. Like, yeah, but I manifested all of that. That's all there for a reason. So I've always been okay. And now I continue to follow that trajectory, and I continue to create other things. But this is really strongly coming up for you, because it's like you got to remember that you have power in this, and you got to remember money is energy. So don't allow the separation to bring in that fear and to take your power away from that. Okay. You remember that, Evie? Yeah. So it's been 2 years now that I've been, so I was on here on the live when I announced that I made that decision to quit all of my day jobs and just follow my passion. And it's been 2 years since I have not had to have a day job still. So, knock on wood. No, you're so welcome. So don't allow that relationship to bring you down, and also it will get better with that relationship, even though right now it's really rocky and stuff. You'd be surprised how sometimes people turn around. And don't be afraid to ask also if you need money. That's another thing. Okay. Okay, so Brandy asked a question. Do you have any advice on how to trust and allow spirit to guide you, or how to get in tune with your intuition? Yes, I do. So this is going to be fun, guys. And for those of you who are brave enough to follow this, I highly recommend you try this. So your intuition is essentially like, think of it kind of like building a relationship with an actual person. You have to understand how your intuition works. So it's like becoming familiar with it. Everybody's intuition will work differently. So it's kind of like when I told you, when recently I got the download to like hire this coach to do this workshop that I did. And he wasn't cheap, guys. He was like $1,000 for like, I think it was like 2 sessions. It's $500 a session. Okay, he was not cheap. Okay, like, and at the time I only had like a certain amount in my bank, and I was like, I knew more money was coming in, but at that month I was like, oh fuck, like. Anyway, long story short, it worked out. But he's good. I don't hire just anybody, and the value that you get is also what you get back. You got to remember that. But I was like, you know what? My intuition's telling me to do this. I don't know why. It's not looking at it like it's not the best choice, but my intuition's telling me to, because I recognize my intuition. So, couple of things. Don't do what I did, just jumping in something like that first and foremost. But what I'm saying is you can basically test your intuition. You can play a game with your intuition. And how do you do that is beginning first and foremost to, when you start getting those intuitive messages, we all get them all the time. First and foremost, just get familiar with, like, is it a thought? Is it a feeling? Is it a sensation? Is there a specific voice that you hear? For me, it's like this consistent repetition, and it's like this knowingness that I keep getting. It's very subtle. It's a little voice that just says, you got, like, energetic as well. I feel a pull towards something, right? So again, I've gotten really familiar with it. Now, how do you know it's your not intuition? A couple of things is, number one, if it's your ego, it usually will use fear or bribes or negative, some kind of negative energy to get you to do it. So it's more like, well, if you don't do this, then people are not going to like you. Or if you don't do this, you're going to be a loser. When it comes from your intuition, it's more like this thing that it's like, it's more neutral. The other way that you're going to know, try it, you'll know. Because if it's not your intuition, you will fail. So oftentimes it's like, I'm getting an intuition, let's just say I hired this guy, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. But deep down, deep down, I'm like, it's not really my intuitive voice. How to know? Because it was going to be a crap session, and then I totally feel like I got ripped off. Again, don't do it like that. Don't test big things. But you can do little things, kind of like trying to think of ways that you could test your intuition. Okay, an example could be like a friendship. It's like you meet somebody and you're just like, your intuition could tell you, okay, you should probably ask them out for a coffee, and you're like, but then so if it's your intuition, this person's meant to be your friend, basically it's like, things should go kind of smooth. But if it's your ego, I can only think of it kind of like with that friend, that one friend that I got a gut feeling that something was off and I didn't listen to it. And how did I know? Because then I was right. Oh, how did I know? Then the person started showing signs of things that weren't in alignment. So hopefully this is making sense. I don't know if I'm rambling and stuff, but you got to test it out. Basically, you got to start trying to play with your intuition with little things like, okay, if this is my intuition, but the most important thing is becoming familiar with the sensations, how your intuition shows up. So it's like creating a relationship with that part of yourself. I struggle trusting myself. I spend a lot of time in my head conversion. So that's your ego. That is already telling you right there. So your ego is going to do that. Your ego is going to go on and on and on and on and start having conversations and blah, 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 blah. So that's how you know. And so I would immediately there, if that was my situation, I would stop and just recognize it for what it is, because that's going to help you a lot and say, that's not my intuition, that's my ego. When you call it out, it's going to go, oh, shit, just got caught. And then you can say something like, I invite my intuition to reveal itself to me instead. So when it's loop, head, conversations, back and forth, negative talk. Oh, but if you don't do this, then you're going to miss out and nobody's going to love you. Oh, but you know, like da 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 da. That's all ego. That's all ego. Your intuition is gentle, it's subtle. It'll just bring up the conversation over and over again. It's like, hey, you should probably join that class. Hey, and you don't know why, there's no reason for it. And that's the other thing. The ego will give you a reason for it. You need to join that class so that you can become rich and famous. Or you need to join that class because maybe you're going to meet somebody there. That's ego. Your intuition's like, you should really, like with me, it was like, you should sign up to this guy. Why? You should just sign up to it. It just feels right. Does that make sense, Brandy? Thank you so much for the donation. Is that helping you a little bit more? But you got to call out your ego. You got to call it out. That's ego. And it's okay to say that. So sometimes we don't want to do that because a lot of people have a really bad relationship with ego. We all have an ego. We all do. We all have been arrogant. We've all had up ourselves. I catch myself still to this day do it. And I'm like, oh. Lately, what I've been catching myself do, for instance, and I have to call myself out. When I go out with my husband and there's a lot of people, I'm not good very socially when there's too many people. We had the 4th of July, a ton of kids, but I like kids. I don't have a problem with kids, but the child energy, because of my childhood trauma, it gets triggered, and then the family things triggers all my childhood stuff. So when I walk in there, I'm already like this, and then there's a lot of people, so there's a lot of energy that I'm feeling, and I shut down, and I also get insecure because I don't know how to be sometimes around in a family environment, in a healthy family environment. And I notice myself belittling my husband, and not in a really like awful way, but I would say like little dabs and little things here and there. I'm like, well, you can be really lazy sometimes. In front of his family, I would say that. Again, it's not terrible. Like I say it with a sense of humor and a lightness, but I caught myself suddenly doing that. And I was like, fuck, I'm belittling my husband. This is not who I want to be, and I should be speaking well of him, and I should be at least neutral, right? So we all do it. We all have our moments, and it's great. I caught it, and in fact, I haven't spoken to him about it yet, but one of my things is to sit down with him and say, hey babe, just so you know, I've been catching myself doing this, and I know you know where I'm coming from, and you didn't take it a bad way, but I don't want to do this anymore. So if I ever put you down again in a public place, please let me know, because I don't want to treat you like that. First and foremost, I don't want to create that energy. You don't deserve it, and I know where I'm coming. It's funny or whatever. It's that little dab that you do, but no, I'm not doing that. And that's my ego, and when I had to look at it, it's because I felt insecure. I feel insecure in family environments because I've had issues with my family. And so as opposed to just, going, oh, okay, I'm uncomfortable, I don't know how to be around people, and I don't know how to be positive, I'm going to put somebody else down so I can put myself up. You're this, so I'm amazing kind of thing. That's basically what I'm doing. We're human. We're going to have mistakes. And the good thing is that you can do is like, oof, caught it. And it hurts. When you have to shift your ego, it is physically painful. Thank you so much for the donation, Claire. It is physically painful. Okay. And that's the hard part. Yeah. So humble ourselves. We all have it. We all gonna do things, But the other thing is also being graceful to yourself and saying to yourself, I did it because I'm insecure, because I have certain traumas. Now, like I was saying before, it's like, I'm not going to bring this though into my current relationship. I'm going to change this. I'm going to make it a positive experience. And it might take me a year or 2 years or 7, 5, 6, 20,000 years. I don't care. The point is, I don't want to be this person. I want to be able to enjoy myself in a family dynamic. I want to be able to show up to these parties and be open and light. I'm not there yet. And that's okay. I'm going to figure it out. Ownership and the healing 100%. Because if you don't know the problem, if you don't recognize it, you can't fix it. And I'm also going to invite my husband to help me with it. I'm not just saying it's all on me. Like, he's going to do it obviously in a nice way because it didn't affect him, thank God. But like, he can, whenever I do it, I'm probably going to catch myself because now that I've said it and also voicing it and having that conversation, next time you're going to catch yourself probably doing it. And then you can just stop. And I might even say it out loud. Knowing me, I would be like, I'm so sorry. I didn't have to say that. I'm so sorry, babe. You're amazing. You've been helping me. You're not lazy. I'm so sorry, everybody. Just caught myself in one of those moments. Done. You call yourself out in front of people, watch how quickly you don't do it again. And again, you don't have to do it like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh. None of that. It's more just like, own it in an empowerment state. I'm like, that was not okay. There was another time with his mom where I lost my shit in the car, and again, this is going back to me not feeling safe and blah blah blah, and I yelled at him in the car because he wouldn't get gas. I mean, listen, I was right in that one, but the point is the way that I approached it was not the best way. And I even went up to his mother after and I said, I'm really sorry for the way that I behaved in the car. Because when I do that, guess what happens? Next time, I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to catch myself so I don't have to apologize. I don't have to put myself in these situations. But I also give myself grace because I was 100% right because there was not a gas station for, because my husband was like, oh yeah, there'll be another. I'm like, please just pull over and get the gas now. There's a gas station there. Please do it now. I don't feel safe. I want you to do it. But it has to be an argument with my husband because he likes to argue for some reason, which doesn't help anybody. And then I can become like this, like, drama queen where my acting comes out. 8.5 years now and excavating back to my true self. Oh, I love that, Bandy. That's a hard one, you know. Recovery, and it's a beautiful thing that you're doing that. So yeah, so sorry guys, I can ramble and tell you stories for days and accountability stories, but you know, it's important that we do that because, you know, when I see it with certain family members where they cannot be wrong, you know, I'm not going to name people. I gotta learn to stop doing that. But there are some people in my family, you know, yes, Tim, I'll definitely pull a card for you, where they cannot be wrong, you know, and it's a problem because if you can't be wrong, then, you know, it's like, or it's seen as a shameful thing, you know. There's no shame in that. If anything, like, you got to be proud of yourself for be able to like be like, okay, I got some stuff here that I gotta like work on, and it's okay, but also be graceful because there's a reason why you're doing it. And you're not an asshole. You know what I mean? It's just because you got trauma or something happened and you haven't like had the tools, and now we're gonna figure it out. You know? Okay, so Tim, let's see what's coming up for you. Card for Tim. Let's see. I feel like these cards want to come out. And then I will do a meditation, guys. So I've been liking to finish these sessions with like a little activation and energy cleansing. So let's do that as well. I'm going to do it in honor of one of my meditations that I created today. Ooh, yeah, you got this last time, Tim. Strength. Okay, you're being strength and grace through kindness, self-confidence, and forgiveness. So I remember that the last reading that we did with you was something about learning your strength and starting to really see your strength because you do so much work, and you're such a beautiful person, by the way. We stalk each other now on Instagram. So I love seeing his stories and all the things he does, and I just always smile and look at him and go, oh, he's adorable. What it up to? That's what it was. So I think it's just reaffirming that you're doing the work and just to continue to do it because that's very important. You know, I love the fact that you're working on that, and I think it's, again, I keep seeing it's going to open up new doors for you and new things are going to start happening. But again, it's a process. It's not something that happens overnight. It's just one of those things that slowly, life starts just going in a certain direction. And sometimes it happens and you don't even know. And then you look back and you're like, what? It worked. But you didn't see it because it's so subtle. Um, this week felt very grounded. Yes. Because you like to be a little bit off with the fairy sometimes, right? Which is nothing wrong with that. It's a fantastic way. But the groundedness is that masculine energy again, tapping into that and feeling the security and the strength. So hey, fairies are great, man. Don't get me wrong, but we need a balance of both because if you're too much off with the fairies, then that's when the chaos starts happening because you're not grounded, and then you're like, wait, what a minute, how did this happen? And then suddenly there's a disaster. Yeah, it's good you do that, Jacqueline. It makes real and people understand that it teaches have life problems too. Yes, absolutely, Evie. Yeah, so it's a good card. So I think Tim, with you, it's a confirmation. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing the work. Keep working on being on the balance of both too, because this is the number 11, right? It's a portal. You're in a manifestation phase. You're creating things. You're co-creating with the universe. So just also be very aware of what you want to create. How do you show up for yourself every day? Not just for other people, because you're very giving and you're very loving, but you got to give that love and attention to yourself as well, and that's the balance. It's the balance of the fairies and the groundness, right? Of the yin and the yang. This is a hot and cold world. It's not just one dimension. Because when we focus on one thing only, guys, it creates imbalance. And so it's important to have both the masculine and the feminine. It's important to have all of these things because the and recognizing our shadow self, the parts of us that we would call so that negative and sucky, and the beautiful aspect of ourselves too. If you're too negative, it's you're going to deprive yourself of the joy, and then you try to create it in other ways, maybe through like addiction. And then if you're too positive, then you can't handle the negativity, and then suddenly bad things keep happening and then you don't know why. It's like all this sort of thing. This is how it works. But if we create the balance, it's almost like I see it. And one of the most powerful things that I will say to everybody here, when it comes to healing, don't just ask for healing, ask for the tools that give you the skills on how to heal. So healing is great. We all, but like if something really bad happens and you have the skills and the tools to help yourself, that is the most powerful thing that you need. So I have a process, I have an awareness, or I have my whatever. And that is everything that you need to continue to be self-dependent on to help yourself, because good and bad will continue to happen on this planet, whether we like it or not. Some things are in our control, some things are just not. Again, everything is duality here. But sorry, the point is here is just, yeah, keep focusing on that, Tim, and you're good. I love that for you. All right. Well, you guys know I can ramble for hours. Hi, Jacqueline. I really love the way you share these messages. I'd love a card if there's time. Sure. We still have time. And then I will do the meditation. This is hot. Okay. It's getting hot, hot, hot. Ooh. Oh, that fell out. Ooh, okay. Anything else that we can see? Ooh, yep. Okay. All right. All right. So you got the Chariot, the Inspired Warrior, and then you got Relationship Bliss. So heart. There's a lot of stuff doing with your heart right now. Lessons around the heart and strengthening your heart. Sayoban, I hope I'm saying your name right. So that's basically what's coming up here, and it's all teaching you things for later on, for relationships that are strong and that are integrity. Okay, not even close. Shavorn. Wow, I was so not close to that one. So again, but I'm seeing a lot of emotions and a lot of heart chakra stuff. It's Irish. Gosh, I'm not even. You know what is like? What's the girl, the Irish girl that her name is spelt really weird, and then the way it's like pronounced, it's like, what is with you Irish people and the way that you spell your names, man? Shavorn. Okay, cool. I love it though. I love the Irish names. They're so cool. Okay, so sorry, back to what we're doing. So you're having a lesson essentially around strengthening your heart, strengthening the, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like very interesting because it's like building the warrior heart, the warrior spirit, the warrior heart. That's what I keep hearing. It's like creating this, and maybe it's to help other people and to create awesome, better relationships for yourself. But I don't feel like it's just about you. Um, it's something about like, yeah, it's interesting. It's not very specific. Um, but is that making sense to you, by the way? I want to see if there's anything else that comes up because I'm getting like just a very simple message with this one, but it could lead to something else. Oh, I love that. Dreams come true. Let me see. Hmm. So it's yeah, it's pretty simple, but I feel like it's really also leading you. Again, I feel like this is happening because of something in the future that is needed. Yes, building my relationship back up with my husband, also wanting maybe to have a third baby. Oh, well, there you go. Okay. Dreams. Oh, well, I think it's going to happen. So you see, there's another child there possibly. So this is making sense. Okay. So strengthening the heart to strengthen the relationship. Okay, relationship bliss. All right, now it's making more sense. But yeah, but it's also a little bit more than that. And again, it's not just for you so that you can have the third child. All the pieces are coming together now. Sometimes I get these puzzles and I'm like, what? Hey, Jackie, welcome. So yeah, so I do see that happening. It is possible, but it's requiring you. That's where it's coming through. It's requiring you for some reason to be the stronger one in this one. Um, for some reason, sometimes men are not that great with expressing their emotions or being able to carry the emotional load. They might be better at other things as long as there's a level of balance in the relationship, and that's okay. But I feel like you have to be the stronger one and you have to be the warrior in this because if I feel like he's not capable maybe of that. So it's probably why this is coming up. So just reminding yourself that it's okay for you to be the stronger one, and sometimes that means it's about being happy and not right. I feel like you're not don't have too much problems with that, but I do also see like dreams do come true. So I do feel like this is definitely something that you guys can resolve, and you can have the third baby. It's in there, but you have to keep being that the one that is like the stronger one in the relationship to be able to carry everything. As long as make sure that he is also in some way balancing that out, so it's not all on you. Okay. So I don't know how you can do that, but maybe it's communicating that, or maybe just saying, "Hey, I'm happy to carry this, but as long as you do this." So don't be afraid to ask also for what you need, because sometimes when we're spiritual warriors, the warriors will self-sacrifice. They will sacrifice themselves, and we don't want that completely. Like, yes, up to a certain point, but once I always think of a warrior spirit as one of those people who's like, "I will sacrifice everything, even my life," which at some places and situations is maybe it's necessary, but sometimes warriors will just completely sacrifice themselves, and then like, what's a good dead warrior to anybody? Like, you're dead and now you can't protect anybody. So dead meaning your energy's depleted, or you feel beaten up, or you lost your energy. So we have to be careful with that, right? So you got to keep that warrior spirit strong, but it needs to be nurtured as well. Okay. Okay, now it's making sense. Cool. It's helpful sometimes when you guys give me the right direction because I'm like, I see it, but it's like trying to interpret gibberish sometimes. All right, so cool, guys. So any more questions before we get into the meditation? Feel free. You're welcome. Anytime. So I'll give you guys a couple of seconds if anybody has any more questions, and if not, we'll get into the meditation, which will be fun. So let me see what. Oh, wrong deck. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for the donation. So let's see. So today, what I did the meditation on was essentially like releasing blocks. It was inspired by the shaman's stuff that I was listening to today. So he was really all about speaking to the parts of you that can reveal the information and giving yourself permission, your higher self, to unlock those. So we're going to do that. So I want you to think of something a situation in your life right now where you feel like you're having some kind of a block, where it's just like, I don't know, you want to make more money, but the money's not happening. You want a new job and the job is not happening. You want a better relationship, and somehow it just feels like a wall, a wall, a wall, a wall, a wall. So what we're going to do today is we're going to ow, you're going to hit your desk. No, what you're going to do is we're going to release that block, and we're going to find out, really try to pinpoint what that block is. So I'm going to see if I can put some music, because, you know, it's nice to have some tunes in the background when we do this stuff. It's just a little bit more woo-woo. You know, we like the woo-woo. Give me 1 second, because my Apple... Oh, no, wait, I have to do it here. Girl, get your stuff together. Or not. I don't have to. I can be a disaster forever. Okay, let's just do... Just thinking about being monetized, but whatever. Whatever. Do we want... Ooh, okay, let's do this one. I call this the whale song, but it's so epic. Okay, so if everybody's capable, great. Get yourselves comfortable. Just let me know, give me a thumbs up if the music and you can hear the music and you can hear me at the same time. I might be able to make it a little bit louder. So can you hear me? Just somebody give, I only listen. Okay, that's fine if you only listen too. So give me a thumbs up if you can hear me and the music. Perfect, thank you so much. I just want to make sure the volumes are equal. Okay, so for those of you who can, music is a bit low. Perfect. It will get a little louder though once the... All right. There you go. Okay, so if you can't, you're still going to receive the healing. So just try to like kind of get yourself into an awakened trance state. But for those of you who can, let's go deep. So let's close our eyes. And just taking a deep breath. Letting go. And just listening, being present with your breath, nothing else. It's a bit loud for me, so I'm going to have to turn it down. And I invite you now to tune into yourself, beginning to listen to yourself on a whole new level. Not with your ears, but I want you to listen to yourself with your heart, with your spirit, whatever that means to you. Just feel your energy, be present with yourself. And then slowly, slowly beginning to release the outside world and amplifying your inner world, diving deeper and deeper, awakening your subconscious, connecting to the shadow aspects of ourselves that are blocking us today from receiving this intention, this abundance, this flow state, allowing us to be able to open up those doors that once were shut, allowing us to receive the wisdom and the guidance from our higher self so that we know exactly what we need to work on, and giving our higher self the power to unlock those doors, to release that subconscious programming. And so if this is what you are ready for in your mind or out loud, say yes. And I want you now to begin to think about the very thing where you feel blocked. Where is that block in your life, within you, wherever it is? It's always within first. Just remember that, but that's okay if you see it from the outside. Where do I feel blocked? Where do I feel like nothing's going my way? Every time it's just one obstacle after the other. And as you tune into this block, as you awaken this awareness, where in your body, where in your energy field do you feel it? Now, if you're not quite sure, if you're struggling with your intuition, just breathe and just choose a spot. You cannot mess this up. So beginning by understanding that this is something that will be revealed to you, but you got to trust yourself. And how do you trust yourself? Just choose anything, because you cannot get it wrong. So it might be multiple places. Just choose one. So for instance, I'm feeling it right here, but I also felt it on my back, but I'm choosing this spot right here, on the side of my hip. Now, it doesn't have to make sense to you. It doesn't have to always have a complete, easy way of understanding why it's there. Just understand that it is there. And that's all you have to know. And so breathing in now into that area of your body and expanding, revealing it, and just becoming familiar with it. And I want you to imagine like tuning in an energy cord to that part of you, as if you're plugging in and tuning into the shadow aspect of this. And I want you to begin to ask it, I am here to understand you. I am here to receive the information so that you and I can work in peace. I wish to understand you more and more, and I fully accept you as you are. And if it helps to put your hand on that part of the body, then do so. Don't resist it. Don't fight it. We're actually inviting it. We're actually opening it up, having compassion towards it. I see you. I feel you. I'm here with you. And just notice any sensations, any information, anything and all that comes up. Just sit with it. Feel the emotions of it. Is it angry? Is it frustrated? Is it resentful? Allow all of it to be there. Don't judge it. And just breathe through it. Get to know it. Get to understand it. Feel the emotions. Feel the pain. And so I invite this part of my body to reveal to me a specific time in my life where you were created. And again, if you feel like you're making this up, guys, let it be that. Your subconscious mind communicates in mysterious ways. It doesn't always have to be logical. So let it be whatever it is. Let it express itself however it wants to. And so reveal to me a time in my life where this block, where this energy, where this pain was formed. And I want to know a specific age. So think of a number, or trust a number to come to you. And this is a specific time in your life where you felt these emotions, these sensations, and this was formed, this block was created because a part of you felt unsafe. And are there other emotions or sensations or words that are connected to this time? Maybe it's resentment, maybe it's anger, maybe it's not feeling protected. Whatever it is, now just take a moment to allow that information to reveal itself to you. Once again, just sit with it, just feel it, just listen. Talk to it. And I want to now dive even deeper, go even further. Are you connected to a specific person in my bloodline? Whether it's my father or my mother, or anyone prior to that even. Is this something that I have taken on? Is this something also related maybe to a past life, a prior lifetime? Just reveal the information and allow me to get to know you even more. I am sitting here with you. I'm ready to listen. And is there anything else that I need to understand, see, or know about you to help me help you? Amazing. And so I thank you so much for trusting me in this moment, for allowing me to sit with you. And I am ready today to work with you, to help you feel good, to help you feel safe, to give you the very things that you never received, that you never got. And so whenever you're ready, guys, now I want you to begin to call in your higher self, that higher power, that all-knowing. And I want you to visualize it as a white energy just shine above you and surround your whole being now. That heaviness, that darkness, whatever it is, gently being washed away. An immediate wave of peace, of connection, of knowingness, of centeredness. And around your body now, visualizing a circle of white light forming. This is creating a powerful container where you are in the center, where you are safe and protected and guided, and no harm can ever come to you. And so now we invite our higher self. So I'm going to speak as if I am your higher self. Do you give me permission today to assist you in healing this block, this shadow, this energy that lives within you? If you are ready, then say yes. You can say this out loud or in your mind. And as you say this, by the way, I want you to start seeing this energy entering your body and connecting to this very thing, this part of you, right? This block, as if an energetic cord is tuning in and plugging in. And are you ready now to release this energy from your DNA, from your bloodline? If you're ready, say yes. And are you ready to release this from any previous lifetimes that you may be still carrying with you in this lifetime? If you're ready, please say yes. And now I'm inviting me to release anything else that we might not have addressed in this session that will help you to feel connected to your abundant self and allow you to enter that flow state that you've requested today. If you give me permission, then please say yes. And now, can I have permission to help you download abundance, wealth, love, joy, the frequency that your older self did not receive? To give you right now everything to align perfectly so that you can feel safe and safety in this frequency. If this is what you want, then say yes. And I want you to see that white light now shifting from white to gold, and you're beginning to receive that energy now into your body as if you're absorbing and downloading that energy. You should feel a sense of warmth, of relaxation, of relief, of safety even. And if you're ready, would you like me to align the right people, places, and things so that this can become easy for you? It allows you to experience this life from a joyful place. If you're ready for that, then say yes. And now I want you to take a moment to ask yourself something specific that you would also like to receive. And when you find it, do you give me permission to help you download that? If you're ready, say yes. And so we thank our higher selves, ourselves, and our shadow selves today to working in perfect harmony together to restore perfect balance. We declare this so, and it is done. And so it is, and so it shall be for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you. And so just taking another deep breath as gently and slowly that energetic cord, that light fades away as the session now is complete. And that beautiful circle around us gently fades away, allowing us to slowly, slowly return back into our body. Just feeling your breath and beginning to expand your awareness back out. Becoming aware of your surroundings, temperature of the air, and your body. And when it feels right, I invite you to come back and open your eyes. And welcome back, everybody. So if anybody wants to share anything, please feel free. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask. Oh, thank you, Tim. You're so sweet. Oh, you're so welcome, Yanessa. So hopefully you guys started to feel an expansion in the energy, a little bit more of peaceful state. I felt a lot of warmth going in. There was a lot of actual kind of like a bit of pain in that area of my body. And then when I was calling in that energy, it just felt like this warmth, this expansion. So hopefully you felt some of those things. And if you didn't, that's perfectly fine too. Don't stress about it. Oh, that's good. I love that, Kelly. Yay. I'm so glad, Loni. So this is an example, guys. I mean, of course, I channel a lot of this stuff, so it's a little bit easier for me to do, and that's why obviously you're here. But I started by just doing these practices for myself, and this is stuff that you guys can also learn to do for yourself. There's nothing special about me. It's just I kept meditating, I kept trusting my intuition and the visuals, and this is basically how this was born. You know, it's like that relationship with intuition that we're talking about, Brandy. That's how it happened for me. Is this the platform where you most of your work? Yes, I have other platforms. So you can find my website on the Insight Timer on my profile. There's other things there that you can also check out. You had a sharp pain in your gut and a lot of tingling in my limbs with the gold cords. Oh, nice. I disagree. You're special. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate that. You know, my ego certainly loves that. Let's not deny it. I'm not humble, but I can also be humble depending on the situation. But yes, I hope you guys really enjoyed that. I hope it helps. There's definitely a ton of courses, guys, on Insight Timer that I have. A ton of meditations. Again, this is a new level of meditation that I've been tapping into just because I've been receiving this type of stuff myself, because I've been upgrading my own healing. So of course, then I can teach more back. But definitely go and check it out. I also have one of my favorite meditations that I do is Angel Reiki. That's probably one of my powerful classes that I ever do as well, where people actually feel like crazy things and crazy visions and things happen. So I love that about my Angel Reiki. That was like a full-on download that I received. It's like, you got to teach Angel Reiki. And I'm like, I don't even know how to do Reiki. And they were like, well, we'll teach you. I'm like, sweet. So that's how that happened. Oh, I had a card in here. I guess this is the final message of the day. There's one card that was left behind. Ooh, I love this. The power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work, be a team player. And a butterfly, transformation. I love that. So don't be afraid to transform. Don't be afraid to change. Thanks so much. After the surgery 4 months ago and healed, so I felt it. I love that, Kelly. I saw beautiful colors of the chakra. It happened a lot. Oh, I love that too, Yanessa. Yeah, I remember you mentioning something about you being afraid of the visions that you're having while you're doing meditations. Sometimes it can freak people out because they're starting to see things and feel things, and they're like, you know, that's a good sign though. It means your third eye is awakening. You're reconnecting to your intuition. And we got to remember that the subconscious mind speaks through colors and symbols, not through like actual obvious things. So when you're seeing these things, it's just your subconscious communicating with you. So it's a good thing. Well, all right, guys, I guess this is the end of the session. So, as always, I'm just so grateful for all of you for hanging out here and just being here. Make sure to join so I will be on the next live. Make sure to do all the things. Again, find me on all socials. I'm pretty sure on my Insight Timer you can find my profile and stalk me there. I usually try to stalk you guys back. We can stalk each other. So I'm so grateful for your energy, for your time, for your donations, guys. I'm so, so grateful. When are my lives? So they're usually on, what day is it today? Thursdays. So Thursday, Fridays, just depends on what's happening that week. But I usually try to put them on like a few days before. Lately it's been Thursdays, so I might just keep it to Thursdays. But sometimes they're Fridays, but depends. Now tomorrow I'm taking the dogs to get their nails trimmed. You're very welcome. All right, guys. So sending you guys so much love, so much light. There's lots of cute animals on Jacqueline's social media. Yes, I don't post them as much as I should really. I gotta do it more often. It's just yeah. But my dog is definitely taking this. Peanut and Keats take up a lot of my the cuteness. They're adorable. All right, guys. Well, I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much for trusting me. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be of service today. I'm very much looking forward to the next session with you guys, and I hope you have the most magical day, morning, evening, whatever it may be. And I will see you in the next one, guys. Goodbye.